Welcome back, gods and goddesses, to the Gifted Goddess channel, where I channel my gifts for the collective advantage in a multitude of ways. And I encourage you to not only seek your gifts and your purpose, but to find meaningful ways to employ them in any way they, your spiritual team, or the Most High deem fit. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've never been here before, welcome. If you're returning, welcome, welcome. You know, I love to welcome you with the highest of love and light vibrations. So, welcome to Spiritual Class with Miss Datora, aka Miss D. All are welcome in the class. Take a seat wherever you please. Get comfortable. We're in for a show. All I ask is that you leave your baggage, a BS, by the door. You can pick it up on your way out, okay? No negative energies here. If you don't know, we're heavily coded over here. I'm heavily picking up on a 304 energy. We call our low vibrational energies over here. 304 HOEs, Louise. Okay, so I'm getting someone has L or V in their name. Yeah, something serious is coming soon. What's funny is, well, what's not funny, I'm looking at orange. Okay, when I got up today, I had an alert, a tornado alert in my area. However, that's very uncommon for where I live, okay? So something about that significant. Then I heard, wouldn't it be nice if dun 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 dun. Yeah, there's like a calm eeriness in the air, okay? I've been saying this before, the weather patterns are going to change significantly is what I'm hearing. Okay. Some time ago, I saw on the news, you know how that banner flashes on the news? Something on the news could be significant soon? Yeah. Okay. So let's finish that. Wouldn't it be nice? That's from 51st Dates. Okay. Well, while that is a comedy, it has Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler in it, you know, so it's a typical movie with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, okay? Like romantic, funny, right? I love that movie. They go on 51st dates. She lost her memory due to a tragic accident, okay? Yeah. I've been picking this up for a while. Accidents are significant motor vehicle accidents, right? MVA, okay? Anyone can have them initials for me to say motor vehicle accidents, for me to emphasize it like that specifically. Yeah, I'm just hearing a change in the winds, a change in the tides. Like, yeah, things are being flipped upside down. Okay, so back to the weather report. I'm hearing, okay, someone can be like a scientist, a meteorologist. Well, hello. Okay, but they're not picking up the signs, the warning signs. What I'm getting is I'm feeling something twofold, okay? While naturally, right, we may have warning signs. Naturally, we may have a change in weather patterns that's indicative, as I always say, of what is going on or has already occurred spiritually. Yeah, I'm hearing it's too late. It's already turned spiritually. The tides have turned spiritually. So major shifts have to come in. Something about shifts, a 4 to 11 shift. Okay, that's just giving me 411 information. Mary J. Blige, MJB. Anyone's initials could be MJB. That also gives me Michael. What's his name? Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan, MBJ. Okay, or somebody's name could be Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan could be significant. That number 23, I always see that. Yeah, the greats. Okay. It's giving me the monsters energy. Okay. Where I have a channeling for that. Basically, I'm hearing the real stars are out. I saw that yesterday. I went outside and the stars were very, I'm hearing luminescent. Okay, but there was a time, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a time where you couldn't see the stars. Like there would be no stars in the sky for years, at least where I lived, right? So something about that significant, a clearing of the way, a clearing of our vision, like a clearing in the atmosphere, a heavy shift in the atmosphere. I'm hearing atmospheric pressure. What I was getting with these weather reports, okay, I'm hearing whether or not we like it or prepare for it, things have to change. So what I was getting when I was saying I feel like something is twofold, right? I always feel like that, right? If you've been here, you know. Okay, we definitely need a code for weather. Just consider me your spiritual meteorologist. What I'm getting is seismic waves is what I just heard, okay? Whether that's literally, spiritually, parent definitely spiritually, and with waves, water, that's emotion, that's intuition. Okay, so serious waves of emotion, serious intuitive hits picking up. Okay, and now it's taking me back to that movie, Wouldn't It Be Nice? Okay, so she had short-term memory loss where she would forget every single day and she relived the same day every day. She was stuck in one place, so she relived the day she had the accident every single day. So I hope nobody experiences that. But what does that have to do with weather? Whether or not, here it comes is what I'm hearing. So yeah, we've been picking up these storms, these things happening, the turns of energy, right? This is a time when the first shall be last and the last shall be first. The real stars being out. The Monstars from Space Jam is significant. Okay. I'm seeing the Starry Night painting. Is that Van Gogh? Vincent Van Gogh, right? I believe so. Yes. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. Okay, a Scorpio could be significant. Don't ask me how I know or how that came up. Libra, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Gemini. Uh-huh. I'm getting heavy on the Pisces. That's just again emotion. I'm seeing fish. The water bearer. Who is the water bearer in Greek mythology? Something about Greek mythology is very significant. It's giving me trident energy. Poseidon. I heard a song in my head for a split second. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel and the energy. Hello, thank you. Someone could speak French. France is significant. Okay. I put that in the I'm seeing Italy as well. Europe, European nations. Okay, what this is giving me when I said it was twofold, like, okay, let's take meteorologists, right? They're classically trained to look for physical symptoms, is what I just heard, but physical evidence of something occurring to be able to predict when it occurs. This is wild. Okay. I recently had a conversation, okay, talking about how they predict weather. Like, how do they know there will be, I'm seeing 2.13 inches of rain? How do they know a certain area will get 5 feet of snow, right? 5 inches of snow. Okay. I just heard prepubescent pissing contest, prepubescent penis measuring contest. Okay, so that's giving me I'm seeing that on a global scale. You know, the energy globally, we have a lot of let's say men with egos. I had this conversation as well. It must be hard to be a man and balance self, right? Very easily, I feel like people in general get unbalanced in the ego, right? And men typically lean on that scale a bit more. That's definitely significant. Someone could be in their pride and their ego. This could have to do with a male or just leadership, the patriarchy, having to chill the fuck out, become more even kill. Yeah, definitely significant. Okay, I'm hearing back to the weather patterns. Okay, I'm hearing back to you, Steve. Back to you, John. Somebody's name could be Steve, John. I'm also seeing Steve Jobs. Okay. I don't know if you guys know this. As I mentioned earlier, they are able to manipulate the weather. That's not something I came up with nor a conspiracy theory. That's something that is a fact that I saw on the news. The power just went out. The power, that's significant, okay? They know they have to relinquish power. Their power is out, okay? Someone's lost power, someone's losing power. Like people who are in this controlling dynamic. Okay, and it's urgent. As soon as I said that, sirens went off behind me. Okay. Yeah, I'm almost getting like I'm getting a tornado warning, like alarm, not literally physically, right? I'm getting that sound in my head, almost like a nuclear siren, right? Like fallout shelter energy. Okay. Yeah, they're going to have to take cover. They are. I'm getting that is why they have been building things underground because they know at the end of the day they won't be able to survive what is coming. The power just turned back on. Okay, 12s could be significant. And that's giving me Babylon energy. Okay. 12 is like police, in the culture. Something is analogous, one after another. I'm getting red, yellow, green, white, and then like a fade to black energy. They were told to stop. They were cautioned to stop. They didn't. They didn't take caution. They kept going, right? Red, yellow, green. Okay. I'm hearing cause and effect, stop, start, go type of energy, right? They were cautioned to stop, told to stop, warned to stop. This is I'm hearing national level. This is on all levels, all scales, right? Could have been someone in your energy. If this story resonates with you, don't worry. I'm the Caramel Codic Miss Frizzle. We take the Magic School Bus to class. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll land the lesson and we'll all be the greater for it, right? So buckle up, Buttercup. We are in for a ride. Yeah, breeze. As cool as the breeze. That's a Jamaican song. As cool as the breeze. They thought this was easy breezy. To be in this energy, this dominated energy. I know we've been getting this a lot. It's time for those things to change. That's why all the things are happening, right? It's giving narcissistic collapse, trying to remain in control, God and spirit, trying to manipulate anything they can to remain in control. Okay. Thank you, Spirit, because baby, sometimes I don't know where we're going. The bus got a mind of its own. Okay, Spirit drives the bus. So you got any problems with where the bus is going in the direction, take it up with Spirit. You get that? If you are someone who's excuse me, if you are someone that's upset with the direction and how things are flipping and changing, take it up with spirit. This is giving people upset that the real stars are out, that the real gifted people are about to shine brightly, that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I'm getting Judah energy, tribe of Judah, okay? Energy. I'm seeing Haiti and Dominican Republic, okay? You could be from there, going to there, but just how they divided that land up, right? And quote unquote, Haiti is the poor place and Dominican Republic is the cherished place. I'm getting cherub. That just gave me something else, chariot, okay? Yeah, this is coming in whether they like it or not. HA, okay. Sometimes things have to be extra coded, almost. Just put it on out there. So Harry, Apple, Randolph, Penelope, right? Can manipulate the weather. Or they released it. Yeah, they do. But this statement was released on the news. That's what I was trying to get to. Lord, nobody want me to say that. On the news, they didn't make a grand announcement. It was just on the banner at the bottom of the screen. Okay. I believe NASA has something to do with it as well. I'm seeing SpaceX. So your good boy, Elon Musk, right? Tripping. 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 That's how I control. Okay. So yeah, the big boys. Hello. Right? We got somebody running SpaceX on Academy. None of my business, right? I'm getting ketamine is used to relieve someone of a traumatic incident, but somehow it induced one, right? For everyone else. So, yeah. Okay. these people in charge, right? No longer. I'm hearing spiritually they had to be put to a stop. They were warned to stop this negative behavior operating out of manipulative tactics and conduct. Um, just energy ciphering, right? Harvesting the gifts of others. Okay, the main thing is keeping us asleep to the truth of what the world is, could be, whatever, right? How many people are in mental institutions for reporting that devices can listen to us, right? That they're listening to us through devices, right? However, you see that coming out all over the place in different reports, especially in them files that everybody done kind of bust wide open. Okay, yes, it's being bust wide open. Okay, the truth will prevail. I'm getting that baked chicken taste again. Okay, that they've tampered with everything, right? The tampering is evident. I keep saying that. Okay, and yeah, so after school activities canceled, right? So all the little extracurricular shit they had planned canceled, okay? Abruptly, right? Short notice is what I just got, okay? Listen, simply put, number one, it's time for a change in the earth. We have been living backwards. We've been told nothing but lies on every level. Truth about religion, spirituality, all has to come to light. The food and water that we drink, all the tampering they've done with everything. I've been getting hydroponically grown foods, right? So that's twofold for me. While you necessarily do not want hydroponically grown food, that's food grown in tanks, right? Like, let's say, so that's why I know this, okay? Let's say you wanted to grow food, but you're in an area where it's not conducive for that season, the type of weather pattern, or I'm hearing migration, but the soil, right? U.S. soil is significant. Okay. All right. Um, if you've been here before, you should already know where that is going. Okay. Right. So, yeah. So, something about the Secretary of Defensing. Now I'm seeing fencing, like people who do that fake sword fighting thing. Yeah, these are people who pretend to be something that they're not, pretend to be defending the country, defending patriotism, defending this country or that country. None of that's necessary. How about we just stop, right? Stop the infighting of the world. It's like at this point, it should be considered crimes against humanity, right? Let's look at it from a higher scale, right? I'm hearing ye shall be judged. Okay, I wrote something about this where they don't do the actual crime against humanity. They get you to sign up, you or your children, to go and commit these atrocities in other countries, right? Then they're sworn to secrecy, can't tell you what it is. They come home either, um, not whole with their body, right? Amputees, severe PTSD, um, post traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, right? And they can't talk about the things they had to endure wherever they were deployed. However, They suffer the consequences of that, lifelong consequences. It's giving me Agent Orange. Okay, if you've been here, you know exactly who that is. Okay, but also the actual Agent Orange, that was Vietnam energy, right? Oh, nothing's going on with Agent Orange. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I remember vividly my grandfather having to go get tests from Agent Orange. Now, you know, while I'm no spring chicken, I am not that old, right? So this was well after that occurred. It took a lot of time for them to come out and say the truth. It's given that nexus of disclosure. If you haven't watched the Nexus of Disclosure, I suggest you watch it. Nexus, Nexum. Somebody's next in line and they don't want it to be you. We see this occurring on all levels in familial structures, right? They don't want it to be you. You're the chosen, okay? We see this in all the way up to a global scale. They don't want it to be you. You're chosen, okay? Some people are chosen. Some of us are chosen to usher in new light, new energies. Long story short, Earth can no longer survive with the heavy energetic level it has been operating on. And it's all happening because they're lying, right? That's the main problem. We can't operate in our highest if you don't know the truth, right? As I said in another message, in order for you to ascend, you have to go within, right? But you have to know what you're looking for, right? It would be so much easier if the highest church of the land, you know, with the basement, with the files and the things in the basement of the truths of the things, right? Allegedly, that start with a V and it ends with can, right? Canada could be significant. That ain't in Canada. That's in Europe, right? They tell you all roads lead to Rome. Well, when you get there, you'll figure out that they copied everything from Egypt. So where do all roads really lead? Okay, there you go. There's the truth. You're welcome. Right? Good night. Truth bomb. Okay, I could drop a mic here, but simply put, telling you you have gifts, telling you that yeah, you know they really are doing what they're doing. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not, as I came on saying, okay? I believe I said that in this message, right? That they know there's a spiritual realm. They know I'm hearing deep, dark secrets of the past, the present, and the future. If you think they're not into astrology, you're crazy, right? These people actually go up there or send people up there, okay? Again, I'm getting heavy on someone getting people to do their dirty work. It's giving flying monkey energy, but now on a global scale, they get us to do things and pit us against each other so that no one's focused on the real problem, right? We have to EV is significant. I was about to say elevate, but it kind of almost gave envelope. Yeah, this is being surrounded. We're enveloped in a staunch aura. I just seen like the earth like covered in like green smoke. Like again, that's giving me something twofold. I won't go there. Okay. 3-eye Atlas, I told y'all, had to come into the energy to kind of stir it up so we could clear it out. Okay. A cesspool doesn't stink until it stirs. Yeah, this will be an undertaking of mass proportions because the leadership is wicked, and then you got people, right? It just exposes the people who are wicked minded, thoughtless, who will vote against their own interests or the interests of humanity, the interests of what will be good for all of us, right? Just to make sure a certain someone of a certain color doesn't get into a position of power, just to make sure someone of a certain gender doesn't get into a position of power, okay? If you're picking up what I'm putting down, there's lots of female leaders in other countries, not here though, in Americana, right? Something about Canada significant, that got Trudeau, whatever, right? Um, Spirit, where are we going? It has to be a change of power. It has to shift. Okay, it's giving me that movie. I forget what it's called. I'll see if I can look it up. My phone, coincidentally, isn't working. Yeah, I feel like we're about to be in a situation where, we're having to check ourselves, right? What would you do if there was no internet? Would you lose your mind or would you just go read a fucking book? Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Right? So we're going to be called back to the nature of things. So nature is significant. Okay. Flight plan could be significant. Yeah, what would your plan be for life, right? If no one told you what to do, if no one made you go to work every day, would you know what to do with yourself, right? If you could do anything you wanted in the world, let's say these structures and dynamics are brought to their knees, right? You don't have the support of the system. What would you do? How would you operate? Where would you go? Would it be anarchy or could we conduct ourselves like civilized citizens and just do what's right, right? That's that. It's time to get in the dirt. Builders, it's time to build. Healers, it's time to heal. Motivational speakers, it's time to motivate. Nurses, it's, time to heal. Teachers, it's time to teach, right? Very simple, right? If degrees and things like that, all of that went away, right? What would you do? You claim you want freedom, but can you handle it, right? This has been their storyline punchline. America can't handle the truth. The world isn't ready for the truth. Well, why not? We're all adults, right? But is there some truth to that, right? We saw what happened in 2020. Other countries were able to exist, right? People singing on balconies, sharing bread, even though it was the worst time of their life, they found some harmony, right? They found some peace, some solace. Here in America, people were fighting over toilet paper, right? Instead of getting what you need and not taking from the rest. Greed, right? And then, what's funny is you could have all the toilet paper in the world. TP is significant. Significant. Yeah. Somebody's about to have a fall from grace in your life personally, if this resonates with you. But I'm being called to talk about this on a higher scale, right? Because what I'm getting is y'all not picking up what I'm putting down. I'll tell you about it locally, right? Local farmers. Are you a farmer? Farm, fuck, right? Can you grow food? Let's learn how to grow food, right? We're going to be called to that energy, right? Because one, it has to change. The scales have to be balanced out in love and light. We can no longer live in this heaviness of negativity and lies. Okay? But it's given me the movie where the man is trying to escape. They know he's just like, excuse me, confirmation. They know he's a serial unaliver, right? And he is, I'm getting a person who, as I hear a school bus, right? Who takes advantage of children, right? You know, grab them by the, who could imagine that was in regards to 13-year-olds, right? Is that energy taking advantage of innocent souls, okay? Whether literally, right? Systemically, globally, right? I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting on. What I'm putting down. I just saw Resident Evil Requiem DLC, okay? Washington could be significant. Something about Walmart is definitely significant. iPhones, significant. Apples are significant. Yeah, a land before time. Before all this bullshit came through, before all these systems and structures was put in place that got us backwards and in disorder. Okay? Food's giving you disorder, people needing substances to survive, right? People can't really shine their light. But the movie was about a guy. I'm going to give you a hint also. If you feel the need to do substances, I'm talking about the heavy shit, right? Something about ketamine is definitely significant, child. Research it. I don't even know. That's an animal tranquilizer. I thought. I don't know why people taking it, but I'm seeing. I got to put them in a meditative like trance. Okay, so people. Okay, like the Torah. People are using this to tap in spiritually. Okay. Well, there's a plant for that, beloved. Okay. Yeah, what we call to natural healing. Herbalists will be important. Yeah, it's about to be a job shift for everybody as well. Uh-huh. My advice would be do what you really love. Do what you're passionate about. Do what you're called to do, right? If you're called to preach, preach. If you're called to teach, teach. If you're called to plant and grow and farm, do that, right? Some people, I'm sure many people will do that individually for self. I'm seeing compost. Like when you, return your food products back to the earth, put it in the soil type energy, right? We're being called to take care of self and nature better, take care of the earth, right? We were given dominion over it. We haven't done that. We haven't stewarded God's planet, God's ship appropriately. Okay. Yeah, and it stinks. Okay. It's given we're the funky one in the classroom of the universe, right? We're the stinky kid in the classroom. Can't get along. People can't operate in peace and cooperation. So we'll be forced to. Okay, unfortunately, that occurs rather hard handedly. Like, this is giving, what is that called? Hard love, right? Where, this might hurt a little bit, but I'm doing this because I love you type of energy. A father kind of telling a son, right? I do this because I love you, right? So I have to straighten you out. If I don't straighten you out now, the destruction later will be catastrophic, right? So, someone could be dealing with this in a parenting situation, right? Who isn't, right? If you have kids, good Lord help us all, right? But yeah, kids are supposed to be the future and we have to get them on a straight and narrow where we're too tilted, right? So we have to balance this out so the generations to come can live in the way that they're meant to, okay? In love and light, using the earth, right, for its benefits, right? Not harming it, producing more from it. We're supposed to be growing new innovators, new creators, new thinkers, right? This is a great time of thinking and information. And instead, everybody's a robot. You're worried about robots taking over. Honey, you are the robot, okay? You are programmed to do what they say. So y'all worried about robots. You already are a robot, okay? Hello, mic drop. You're welcome. Okay. They have programmed you to do as they say, like the clicking of the fingers. Yes, queen. Clicking of the fingers, clock that T. Soon as one person do it, everybody start doing it. Soon as one person get on and talk about a trendy thing, now everybody's attention shifts to that one thing. I'm seeing Hawaii up in smoke, right? But we're not talking about the important issues. How That's not a conspiracy, right? Things being taken over, right? How they will destroy a whole land just to take it over. It's giving New Orleans vibes, right? Manipulating the weather to do so, okay? Oh, it's so tragic. A whole place went underwater or went under fire or what, right? We got to go in and help them. And then now we take it over and rebuild it how we want to. Well, that's going to apply now for real. And we're being called to build in love, light, and truth. Okay, no more crimes against humanity, against each other, against self. Right? We'll plant food that heals us. We will plant systems that nurture us. We will teach in schools and teach. Right? It's important to understand that we hold the power to create the systems that we operate in. So why not create something that is conducive to elevation for us all, that produces positivity instead of such negativity? I'm here to tell you, those of you that operate in illness and negativity and low vibrational, the earth can no longer support your nasty ass energy. Okay, it's going to be a time to elevate and change. This is the age of information. You know better. Like, there's no more excuses, right? We have the information. You can say it's from your childhood. We'll heal that shit, right? You could say stunted growth, arrested development. Heal that shit, right? No longer should you just solely rely on medications. I'm not a physician. I'm not giving out medical advice. I'm not advising you to do anything. What I'm saying is, I know lots of people who take depression medication and still are depressed. Why is that? Because they don't change anything about their life. Okay? So if you are feeling depressed, why are you staying in the house doing the same things, dealing with the same people, going to the same places? Switch it up. Do something different. Okay? Creatures of habit we are, right? When something's not working, stop doing it. The definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting the same result. We're doing the same thing on a global scale. We vote in these systems over and over and expect that to go well for us when we know damn well it's not even just the people that are a problem, it's the system overall. And at the end of the day, we love to hold people in power accountable for their actions, but are you holding yourself accountable for your actions? If we want better people in positions of power, we have to position ourselves individually better to be people of power. Okay? So moving with integrity on an individual scale, we're so quick to point the finger. How can you grow mentally, spiritually, and emotionally? That's what you're being called to do. 2020 was a practice round. I'll keep telling you this, okay? For that, no longer can we sustain these heavy energies. Now, I'm not going to debate with you if it was, natural or unnatural. Was that another manipulation tactic? We could debate that all together. What we do know is that was a call to consciousness. What's important? Will you take these questionable trial run things that haven't been fully experimented on or fully understood yet for the sake of your job? A lot of people lost jobs because they refused to take something that was still in research, that was still in development, that hadn't been fully approved, that was a rushed scientific experiment at the end of the day, right? And now we know the benefits of that, right? And the effects of that, cause and effects. Okay? What I'm getting is they're going to have to come clean about what that really did, what that was really intended for. Okay? Yeah, don't be surprised when things will be slanted, things will be twisted, it'll feel off balance, it'll feel uncomfortable. Change is necessary though, but change is always uncomfortable, okay? Yeah, I'm just hearing who will be the teachers, the leaders, if everybody's trying to be on a popular show. Everybody want fame and fortune. Who's who's doing the things they love simply because they love it? This is what we'll be called to do. What are you prioritizing in your life? This is what you'll be called to look at. Okay? So no longer operating in the systems that they have created, right? This Roman Empire energy. Divide and conquer and control. Okay? No longer. We need to go back to a spiritually based way of living, spiritually based communities where we focus on the spirit of things, the nature of things, okay? And what is best for the overall people, right? Individually, locally, communically, right? Is that a word? Globally, right? We're all on this planet together. We're supposed to do what we can to take it further, upgrade it, elevate it, right? Ascension significant, right? I'm getting a lot of space energy, like Star Wars, right? Yeah. This is a power struggle, a power dynamic. They won't go out without a fight, okay? Y'all kind of get what I'm saying on that end. It gave me that movie where this man is trying to escape. They know he's a mass ender, right? He's at a concert with his daughter. They know he's in there. Their whole plan is to trap him. He manipulates the whole entire arena to escape, right? So ends up unaliving people in the arena, doing all this slick stuff, going underground, doing all this other stuff. Meanwhile, he has his daughter, so not really thinking of how to affect the children. What about the children? It's giving that lady from The Simpsons, right? That person from The Simpsons, right? Prophetic art. Prophetic art is what I'm getting from that, right? I read a book about that. I believe the lady's name was Ida or something. Ida. Um she's not native to America, I don't believe. I forget where she was from, so that's why I don't remember her name clearly. Okay, but she would get prophetic images that she had to draw, right? And then later it would come to fruition in some type of way, and later it would make sense. I'm getting. That's why Starry Night came through. Yeah, like I'm getting someone taking that Starry Night image and making their own image from it. I'm seeing someone driving in the car and a starry night is outside. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they'll do anything to keep the power, to keep the control, as we know, right? And people are struggling right now. I got 333 on my phone. Okay. Ascended Masters in the energy, right? The ascended masters who are on the planet right now will be called to step up into leadership, right? Because we understand things twofold, right? The natural way of the world and the spiritual way. And we're being called to place things in order, put it in balance, okay? Right? So those who have done the work, who have ascended, who have become an ascended master, right? Who have learned the lessons and gone through the things and understand that I'm getting prophetic dreamers, writers, seers, sayers, right? The people with the gifts, the people who operate in their highest of high vibrations, who have elevated self, who have self-actualized, who have went on that spiritual journey to become an ascended master, someone who has mastered the gifts of life, right? The lessons of life will be called and elevated, will be exalted to positions of power. They know this, they're trying to avoid this. They will do anything, cause all types of chaos up here, and when that doesn't work, tell more lies, go underground, create conspiracy theories, pit us against each other. All that's going to happen is those who fall for it, you're going to have to go right where they go, wherever that is, right? Okay, so get yourself in order. Focus. Do not be distracted. Okay, focus. perfecting your craft, learning your lessons, okay? Cleanse your energy. We need to cleanse the way we're eating. Fasting may be significant. Praying is significant. Get clear, get close, connect with your spiritual team. You can't do that until you cleanse your energy. You cannot do that until you fast and purge out all the negative things, right? I would start with meat, okay? You want to ask me how I know or you want to listen? That's up to you, okay? You want to debate me in the comments or you want to listen, right? We could waste valuable time debating who's right and who's wrong, or we can just do the things that we know are right, okay? If it convicts you, that's usually because you know something is true about it, okay? So, with that being said, I'll end the message here, okay? Start doing the healing work. Get my heart work journal. As I said, the information is out there. You could think I'm full of shit and just want to get money. You can go out and buy 100, right? Shadow work journals, other journals with this, that, and the third. You could spend years trying to. Okay, so this message isn't to stoke fear or paranoia. It's a call to consciousness, a call to action, to elevate, to ascend, to tap into your higher self, tap into your higher power, pray, meditate, connect with your spiritual team, okay? If you need assistance doing so, utilize my email below and I can assist you with that, okay? This is to bring awareness, okay? The thing about it is, listen, you can think it's conspiracy, you can think anything you like, right? At the end of the day, the problem is those who know aren't listened to by those who are uninformed, okay? So do what you need to do to elevate and ascend. We can waste time arguing about who's right and who's wrong, or we can just do what's right, what we all know to be right, okay? It's given the flat earther effect, okay? Is the earth flat or is it round? At the end of the day, how is that helping us? We have to stop engaging in cyclical debates that take us nowhere. Putting all stock into candidates that take us nowhere, okay? We need to do what we know is right for everyone, for the collective as a whole, okay? Heal humanity as a whole. You start by doing that, by focusing on self. It looks like a large task if you focus on, oh, we got to heal the whole world. If everybody just commits to being a better person and working on self, that's all we need to do. Focus on yourself, okay? Something about the islands are significant. The, the Pacific coast, significant. Hawaii, significant. Mykonos, the Caribbean, right? Water, right? As I mentioned, there's something in the water, okay? I was also get Hawaii. That movie is on Hawaii. 51st Date, she's on Hawaii, Oahu. Okay. Yeah, something's about to be a wild ride. Weather is significant. Weather patterns are significant. Expect the unexpected, okay? Also, there was an operation, right, that had to do with pearls, right, in Hawaii, right, that was destructive, okay? I've channeled this message before in the video. You might want to sit down for this, okay? Cataclysmic events, right? history repeating itself. Okay? Power dynamics, not wanting to give up power, not wanting their structures they put in place to exalt themselves as king of the hill or king of the throne. Okay? Yeah. Explosions. Okay? Remember on King of the Hill, the grill light, and that's what I just saw. Something up in flames, fire, significant. Okay, so again, not to stoke fear or paranoia, because that'll get us nowhere anyway, right? Do what you're called to do. Focus. Do not be distracted by the upcoming events. Focus. It's all designed to get you in a fear-based energy. Just do what you're called to do. And that is where I'll end the message, class. Okay. Thank you for attending class. If you haven't done so already, please like this video for your class attendance and participation points. Subscribe so you can stay in tune with the class vibe. And sharing is caring, so share if you feel inclined. We definitely want to get more people into spiritual class with Ms. D to get these lessons so they also can see. Okay? So, do what you feel called to do. If you feel called to donate, I will link my Cash App in the description box, as well as all of the spiritual tools necessary for your spiritual book bag. I'll have more coming soon, okay? And look out for new cards and new things on the channel. We will be doing tarot and tea so we can sip and see what else we're being called to see spiritually. Tarotly, of course. Okay. So expect updates on the community post. Okay, the community chat. Definitely check over there for, assignments, messages, questions, concerns, that sort of thing. Feel free to chat there, add questions there as well, right? If you're listening to this, add where you're from. I'm getting Kentucky, Denver, Connecticut, Tennessee. As I said, Hawaii and all the places I mentioned, okay? The whole Pacific coast, New York, Manhattan, Delaware, and it is her, Francis. Okay, France. Okay, something about that significant here soon. Remember, as I always say, continue to come and go in love and light. Please pursue purpose, not just paychecks, as purpose provides your provision and your protection. And definitely, last but not least, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, as the undoing is necessary. Stay tuned for the next class. Class is dismissed. I'm going to have to get us a bell. See you next time. Peace, y'all.